For topic two, we're going to look at length in the metric system. So the cool thing about the metric system is it's kind of consistent across the board, whether you're looking at length, volume, or weight. Okay, so we have basic units. So the basic unit for length is called the meter. The basic unit for volume or capacity is called the liter. And then the basic unit for weight or mass is called the gram. Okay, and then we have a series of prefixes that go along with those basic units that kind of tell us how much of a basic unit we're dealing with. Okay. So that's the cool thing about the metric system. You kind of learn it once and then you can apply it three different times, which is really handy. It's also easy to work within. We don't really have to do the whole dimensional analysis. There's a shortcut for us, okay? Because the metric system is based on powers of 10. So powers of 10 being like 10, 100, 1,000, 1/10, 100th, 1,000th. And because of that, it makes converting within the metric system really easy. You're basically just moving decimals to the left or to the right. Now, if you're moving a decimal to the left, that would indicate dividing by a power of 10. If you're moving a decimal to the right, that would really be the same thing as multiplying by a power of 10. So it's not like we're just like coming up with some kind of like voodoo magic. There's math behind it. We just have like a really, really nice shortcut. Okay. So again, to convert length in the metric system, we have to know that the metric system is based on powers of 10. We also have here that to convert, we multiply and divide by powers of 10, which ultimately is just moving a decimal to the left or to the right. Okay. The basic unit of length in the metric system is the meter, and a meter is abbreviated with just a plain old M. Okay. Now, we do have a series of prefixes that we use, okay? So if we're talking about 1,000 basic units, we would use the prefix kilo, okay? So when we're talking about meters, we would say 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer. So we put kilo in front of meter, we've got 1,000 meters. Next, we have hecto. Hecto stands for 100. So put hecto in front of meter and you've got 100 meters. Next is deca. You do have to be really careful with deca and then eventually deci. Deca means 10 and its abbreviation is DA. Okay, so we do have abbreviations that go with these and I'll show you in just a minute. But for kilo, we think K, hecto H, deca DA. So since we're dealing with meters, we're talking length right now. KM, HM, DAM, and then you'd put in a single meter, and then we go over to deci. Deci means 1/10, so it's like a tenth of a meter. Here we use just DM. Centi means 100th, so CM, and milli means 1,000th, MM. I don't know who Hector is. Sorry, I've got a typo there. You'll have to excuse the typos. I try really hard. Okay. Now, the final order for these abbreviations, or not abbreviations, these prefixes, we have kilo is 1,000, hecto is 100, deca is 10. Then you have a single basic unit, so just one. And then we have deci is 1/10, centi is 100th, and milli is 1 millionth. So if we were going to look at the metric system for length in order, we would have a kilometer, a hectometer, a decameter, a single meter, a decimeter, a centimeter, and a millimeter. Okay, now there is a way to remember what this is. There's like, what do you call it? It's not an acronym, but like a saying that means something. So you can think King, it's kind of grim, but King Henry died by, I'll explain by in just a second. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. So the K in King stands for kilo, the H in Henry stands for hecto, the D in died stands for deca, the B in by stands for basic unit. The basic unit of length is a meter. The D in drinking stands for deci, the C in chocolate stands for centi, and the M in milk stands for milli. Okay, now to change and convert within the metric system, to change from a larger unit to a smaller unit, you multiply each move by 10. That just means you move the decimal to the right. And then to change from a smaller unit to a larger unit, you divide by 10 for each move that you make. So what does that look like? Well, I generally start with just my metric system. So K, M, H, M, D, A, M, D, M, C, M, M, M. Okay. And I figure out where I'm starting. So if we look at example 5, it says convert, include units with each answer. We're going to start with 5,300 millimeters, and we want to convert this to decimeters. Notice it's just dm, that's deci, not deca. Okay. So I'm starting here with millimeters. I need to convert to deci. Deci is to the left, and it happens to be 2 places to the left. So I need to move my decimal 2 places to the left. So essentially what I'm really doing is I'm dividing by 10 to get to centimeters, then I'm dividing by 10 again to get to decimeters, but let's just move our decimal twice. It's the same thing. So if I have 5,300, if you don't see a decimal, you assume it's at the end. We want to move it to the left once, twice, so that gives me 53. So I would say 5,300 millimeters is equal to 53 decimeters. And that would be my final answer. Okay. And then we just kind of lather, rinse, repeat. So what I am going to do is I'm going to erase my, we'll call it my side work, my little arrow loops. Okay. And we're going to start over. So next up we have kilometers. So we have 4.5 kilometers. We want to convert that to meters. So I'm starting over here with kilometers. I need to get to meters, which would be to the right. So to get to hecto, I would multiply by 10. To get to deca, I would multiply by 10 again. To get to just plain old meters, I would multiply by 10 again. So each time I multiply by 10, I move my decimal to the right. So if I have 4.5 kilometers, I would move my decimal once, twice, 3 times. Each time I move past the end of the number, I just add a 0. So I would say 4.5 kilometers is equal to 4,500 meters. And that should make sense because remember, a kilometer is 1,000 meters. So if I have 4.5 kilometers, I would just multiply by that by 1,000 to get meters. So 4,500 meters. All right, one more. Let's erase our side work. And this time we have HM, so that's hectometer, and we want to convert it to centimeters. So hecto is right here. I need to move to the right to get to centi. So I would multiply by 10. I'd multiply by 10 again, 10 again, 10 again. So I need to move my decimal 4 to the right. And if you don't see a decimal, you just assume it's at the end of the number. So we just have 14, so assume it's 14.0. And we want to move our decimal 1, 2, 3, 4. Each time I move my decimal past the end of the number, I fill in a 0. So I could say that 14 hectometers is equal to 140,000 centimeters. And that's it. That is literally it. You just figure out where you're at, where you need to go, figure out the direction and how many jumps you have to make, and that tells you the direction and how many times to move your decimal. And just remember, each time you move your decimal, you're either multiplying or dividing by 10. This is just a nice little shortcut that we can use. Okay? So I think that's it for just converting in the metric system. In the third topic, we come back. This is where my typo is in topic 3. But we're going to convert within the US and metric systems. We're going to convert between the two. Okay.